Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Lisa Rowan, banking analyst and personal finance expert with Forbes Advisor, a trusted destination for unbiased personal finance advice, news, and reviews to discuss how holiday 2020 is going to look a little different, just like everything else this year. Lisa, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks so much for having me.
And retailers have been pushing up holiday for years now, but 2020 is showing really big changes to the sales cycle. What looks especially different this year?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of changes because of the pandemic. One big example is Amazon Prime Day. It's usually a holiday event, but they push it back to October, and so there's a ripple effect there. A lot of big retailers are saying, oh, we'll also have sales in that period. So that's sort of getting a kickstart to the holiday shopping season. And then you're also seeing retailers that are deciding to spread out their deals over the November and December period instead of relying on Black Friday like they may have used to.
And that's interesting because I was going to ask you, with them stretching the season out, do you think the deals will be better now or closer to holiday?
The thing with retailers is that they want you to come back again and again, especially during the holidays, right? So they know that there are people who are going to be shopping early and people who will wait till the last minute, like they probably do every year. So they're going to be offering repeat deals and similar deals. So you may only get the best price once in a season, but you're still going to be able to find discounts on items as you go throughout the season. There's not a chance as a consumer that you or I is going to miss an opportunity to save.
Do you think this holiday season will be especially stressful for consumers? It feels like days have turned into weeks to months, and it just kind of crept up on us. And, you know, the financial picture for so many people is dramatically different than it was in the start of 2022.
It is. At first, when the pandemic first began, a lot of people were just thinking about their response to today and today's situation, whether that was related to employment or doing school at home. And so we've been so worried about those day-to-day adjustments that we've had to make that thinking about the holidays hasn't been on the radar for a lot of people. And when you combine that with the financial stress of the pandemic, we have a lot of people who maybe have exhausted their emergency funds, or they may have run out of those unemployment benefits that they were getting. We're not going to see the same old holiday celebration that we were able to have. And I think a lot of people are not yet realizing that they are going to have a different holiday than they might have hoped.
So what's the best way to budget for this extra long holiday season and not feel so overwhelmed? How do you prioritize where discretionary spending should go?
The first thing is to recognize that this may not be a quote unquote normal year for you or anyone in your family. So it's important to recognize that things may be different, and that is okay. You're probably going to have a couple of conversations with people in your family about expectations, about what the scale and scope of the celebration might look like. So it's time to be honest about that. And then definitely make a spending plan before you start hitting the sales. If you can get an idea of what an item on your wish list or your shopping list costs when it's full price, it makes it less stressful for you when you're looking for that best deal. Because if you budget with that full price in mind, then any discount that you're going to get is going to be a bonus for you. So do some research up front. And if you're worried about going over budget, if you're someone who just can't resist being able to treat others during the holiday season, even if it makes your finances tougher next year, enlist a friend as an accountability partner, not someone in your family. They're too close to the source. Get someone outside of your family who you trust, who you can talk to about the holidays and your holiday spending, and keep each other on track.
So in the course of your research, do you think consumers will start to engage better practices when it comes to saving and budgeting beyond holiday spend?
It's tough to say because, it's hard to make financial changes unless you have an external force. If you're just doing something internally, it's really hard to get motivated. So the pandemic has been a real wake-up call for a lot of people. Unfortunately, it's been a really ugly wake-up call, but it's really driven home the importance of having savings, an emergency fund, being able to live within your means if things are going to be upended overnight, which for a lot of people they were. The question is going to be whether those habits last after we come out of this pandemic eventually. So I think people are going to learn a lot of lessons, but actually applying those lessons to their life, it's going to take some practice before those truly become habit.
All right, Lisa, I appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thanks so much for having me.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.